Hello everyone, this is Naveen and welcome to my channel Automation with Naveen. Uh, I would like to thank everybody who has seen my previous video and provided very encouraging comments, and this helps me to come up with new videos. And today I am going to discuss a very important topic called RE framework with MultiBot. Now, many of you uh, must have practiced RE framework uh, with several use cases and uh, and handled many of these use cases in UiPath Community Edition. However, some of you may be aware or not, I don't know, but uh, when in the community edition especially, it has only one runtime. That means you can only use one unattended bot at a time to run a process. Now, that is a limitation of community edition. Let's say in a real world scenario where your queue has got thousands of records, like maybe like 1,000, 10,000. Now, in that scenario, if you use only one bot to process the transactions, it's going to take forever. For example, I ran um, a queue containing 1,000 records with a single bot, and it took me around 45 minutes to complete the application to process. And the processing part was very simple, it was not complex, it was just logging in the specific content from the queue. I'm going to get there. However, when I used second bot and it ran in half the time, so it was like two bots, they were working simultaneously, and the entire processing complete in 21 minutes. So this is why it's very important to know the topic. So let's see what's the use case. What are we going to do here? We're going to create two unattended bots, and they're going to run a process simultaneously. And that means we're going to have one process, we're going to have two jobs. They're going to start very close to each other. So, and also this use case will demonstrate the effectiveness of multibot in the context of RE framework. So the context is RE framework here, and I'm sure multibots can be used in several other contexts, but this video is only about the RE framework. So we're going to stick to that. And what is the main advantage of using multiple bots? We reduce the processing time. However, in order to perform this experiment, there are certain prerequisites or conditions. Now let me explain that to you. Right. And now, as I mentioned, the UiPath Community Edition, it will provide only one runtime. So we cannot use it to run two bots at a time. So you don't have license to connect two bots at the same time and run simultaneously. Now, however, if you must have noticed that UiPath allows you to download the enterprise trial version for a period of 60 months, and once you install that, you will know that it provides you up to 5 runtimes. So we can use this to satisfy our use case. Now, the condition is that we have to install this enterprise version on a virtual machine, and the virtual machine is running a Windows server. Now I chose 2019 version, uh, but I believe maybe 2022 or 2016 might still work. 22 definitely will work, but I chose to 2019. So you have to run a virtual machine. It could be either on your own desktop, or it could be maybe a virtual machine on some other cloud like Amazon Web Service or anything. That's your wish. Now, what we're going to do is once we install the Windows Server, we bring the VM up, then we're going to install UiPath Enterprise. Now, as part of this video, I'm not going to explain how to install UiPath Enterprise, or I'm not going to explain Windows Server 2019. It will be, the video will be very long. You can find it on YouTube or any channel how to do that. What I'm going to explain is once I have installed the enterprise version, I'm going to go inside that, and I have already created 2 users, and so I'm going to I've created 2 users, and I'm going to show what I configured as bots. So let's go ahead and check what we need to do here. Okay, before we enter the virtual machine, let's first check and see what we are going to do. Now, this is my workflow. It's a simple RE framework, and let me go to the initialization part of this. So what I'm going to do here is right. Right. So there are lots of comments. Let's forget all that. Let's come to the uncomment. Okay. So this one is the get queue items. So my queue name is 1000 rows. It's going to process 1000 rows of data basically. So it's fairly straightforward. So I'm going to get the queue item count. So I have used the single RE framework as both dispatcher and performer. So that's why so when I'm running 2 bots, I don't want the second bot to add, the rows again. So when the second bot sees that there are already items available in the queue, it wouldn't add a second time. So first time the first bot runs, it will check the items count is equal to 0, because initially there's nothing. And then I'm going to read a workbook and store the value in the data variable dt underscore transaction data. Then I'm going to add bulk add queue items. The bulk add queue items, I'm passing the data table name, and I'm passing the queue name. Is gonna add to the add the transactions to this queue. Yeah, that's very straightforward. And let me go to the process transaction part. So it's already open here. Okay, the process transaction, no big logic. We are just going to log a message that has the reference. So I'm going to show that I'm going to show the Excel sheet in a minute. So I'm going to log the reference value followed by the uppercase of the name. So this is the name of the customer. So I'm going to do the uppercase of that. So let me show you the Excel sheets. So this is the Excel sheet, and this is the reference. Reference is a column, and then they have the company name, quantity. So yeah, so just ignore this. We are not going to populate the value here. Instead of that, we are logging it. So we are going to uppercase each of these names and log it. So when the two bots are running, they're going to have uh, separate logs, and if you go to their individual log, you will see different. So for example, let's say the first bot picks 1, then it's going to be 1 uppercase of Muhammad. Then let's say the second bot picks 2, it's going to be up 2 and uppercase of Barry French, and so so it is not predictable how they're going to behave. But how it would work is, when one bot has already picked up a new item, the second bot would not access it again. So, and it would wait. So basically, the orchestrator would wait, and uh, and it will allow the second bot to take when the first bot is finished. Or or maybe I think that maybe they do not even wait, do not even wait. So when one is taken, it will go for maybe the 200th one. No, so I'm not yet clear on that, but I know that the same transaction is not taken again. So I'm going to show you that. So this is the process. So this this package is going to be available in my virtual desktop. So this is my virtual desktop, virtual machine, sorry, and this is an Oracle virtual box. And if you see, my machine is running here. This is my machine, and this is my processor. So if you are conducting this experiment, do ensure that you have good amount of RAM available. So, and I have ensured that I have used all of my 4 CPUs. Yes. And I have around 8 GB. I'm sorry, I have around 12 GB RAM, so I use like almost 8 GB here. Now for some of you, RAM won't be an issue, so you don't need to worry about it. So okay, now let's go inside the virtual machine. Okay, so looks like this is our virtual machine. So let me close everything first. Let's sign out, minimize that. Yep. So let's come from the beginning. Lock it. And okay, so this is my first user, the administrator, and I also have another user. Let me show you that. So you got to have 2 users, and for 2 robots you have to create 2 users. So this is like a high density system. Uh, so that would mean like you're going to have 2 robots in 2 user profiles, and they both will be able to connect simultaneously. Okay, now you see that there are 2 users, administrator and Navi. Let's go into administrator and check the settings out. Right. So this is our bot, the UiPath assistant, and most of you will know how to find the status. So it's connected and licensed as well. That means it can run it can run stuff basically. If it's only connected and it's not licensed, that means you cannot run. So this is the advantage of having a UiPath enterprise version. It gives you up to 5 run times. Let's go into the preferences and check it. Alright, now we are inside the orchestrator settings. So if you look at that, I have connected everything using a machine key. This is my URL. This is my enterprise version that I have installed here, and this is the machine key, and I have signed in. So I have signed in using one user that I created, which has got license. This is one robot which is ready to run as an unattended robot. Okay. Now let's move on to my second user. And by the way, you when you create the second user, you ensure that you give him or her administrative privileges. All right, we are inside our second user, and if you see, this also has been given a runtime. This is the advantage of a high density, where a single machine with different users can connect, and they are both connecting using the single machine key. So I have created a machine template, and I will show you that. So this is connected, right? You see, and it is can act as an unattended robot. Let me close that, and now let me go back. Okay, it's taking some time to load. Okay, it's finally here. Okay, okay. Now let's see how to access my web application. This is my enterprise trial version, and it runs here. Now my default tenant is, I'm sorry, my tenant name is default, so I can change it, but my application is going to run in the default tenant. So let me log in now. Okay, so this looks different from your cloud one. So it's got two stuff. So it's got orchestrator and management. just wanted to show you some stuff here. Okay, let's just wait. Right, awesome. So if you see here, I have added two users. In this machine, which is administrator, I'm going to use this user, and in my second user, I'm going to use this user. The second Windows user, I'm going to use this organization user who is in this tenant, default tenant. Alright, now you might know how to create a user, but still I'm just showing this. You have to add the user, email, password, and you can create it. Alright, now we go back to the orchestrator. Okay, now let's see. I'll just go to the tenant, and if you see here, it will show you what are the robots right now connected to my orchestrator, this tenant. So this one user and this one user. Alright, so that shows that two robots are right now connected. We can also see what folders I have. So I have a shared folder here. Let me show you what are the users now. So those users that I created in the management, they are mapped here, and they have been configured to run as unattended robot. Let me show you the profile of one of them. Okay. Now, if you look at the unattended setup, you give the username and password there. This has to match with your user account, your Windows user account. It has to be exactly matching, which is what it will be using to go and access your robot. Alright, let's go. Now, I have also created a machine here. Let me show you that. And this is an unattended. I'm sorry, I just named this unattended, but this is not a standard machine but a machine template. A single machine template that allows any robot to connect to it. So this contains the machine key, right? So now we have all the settings in a place. Alright, now let's go ahead and try to run this. So the UIPath workflow, the package is here. Now let me go to the folder and I'll create a process. I think I'm facing some issue here. Let me try that again. Okay, we can ignore this. Okay, now we can close this. Now before we start a job, we need to know this queue name. Okay, 1000 rows. Okay, let me see what is this. Yes, so I have to create a queue with the same name or my job will fail. So let me create. Alright, we created. Now, okay, now let's go ahead and start a job. Okay, so this is how you create. I'm sure you guys will be familiar. Now it will say here, this is how it's slightly different from a community edition. You see here, two runtimes available and two are connected, right? So it's one process. Now, and here is what we'll be making a change. So that's the user of this machine. That's the template. All right. And now we're going to start. Now that says here it's been queued to start. Meanwhile, we'll create another job. And now we will give the name of the second user. Okay, so looks like both the processes are running. Now let's see the monitoring. If you see the monitoring, two are running. And let's now check the status of the queue. Okay, let's check the logs. What's going on? You see, so there is a lot of things happening in the background. Let me show you. So I open the second process. I'm sorry, the first process. Look at that, processing transaction number 8. So the items have been added to the queue, and look at that, number 35 is the reference number, followed by, this is the name of the person in uppercase. So 7, 8. Now this is 35. Now let's see. Look at this. There are 56 items, and let's go to the last page. Look at this, all random. 53, 36. 27. Now it's all, we are 3 minutes into this, and now let's check in the first bot. So sorry, this one is the second bot. This one is the first bot, and yeah, check the logs in this. Oh, look at that, 95 random. So they are, these two bots are running in parallel, and they're processing some random stuff. So now you imagine this is just with two bots, and if we had like, and just for 1,000 rows, now imagine we had 10 bots, so how much faster this processing would be, right? Now let's also check a few other things. Oh, it's kind of slow because machine is like really like, I don't know, I think 12 GB RAM, 8 GB. I allocated maximum what I could do. Now look at that. What does it say here? It says 880 remaining. So within a few minutes is processed, two of them together have processed 120 together. Let me go and see the transactions here. Right. These are all the reference numbers, and you see there are thousands of them. Okay, let's check one transaction. So yeah, we have the company name, quantity. Yes, so we have the data. That's good. So let's go and check what's happening here. Okay, looks like, what's the condition of the robots right now? So monitoring. Okay, looks like they both were successful. Two of them ran, they were successful. Now let's go ahead and see how much time they took, because that's the important part, right? You want them to take half the time. Okay, so this is the transactions, and if you see, all of them have successful. And look at this. This will tell you which transaction was run by which bot. This is different. So this was run by one bot and this was run by other. Look at that, NMASR. So this will tell you which was run by which bot, right? So we are clear about that. And now we need to check how much time it was taken. So let's go to the jobs. There are two jobs here, right? So let's go to the details. All right, let's see. So here's the thing: 1000 records, 2:40. It starts at 2:40 a.m. 20 minutes, 20 plus 14, 34 minutes. And this one 2:39 and 3:14. So 34, almost the same time, 34 minutes. Okay, so this ran, this job entire job was finished combinedly in around 34 minutes. Now let's try to run uh, using a single bot. I think I will have to, I'm sorry, give me a second. Okay, so I will have to go back and delete these queues. Yes, that's what, and because they are all successful now. Okay, and let me add the queue again. Okay, right. Okay, that's all empty right now. And um, yes, let's go ahead and where are you? Okay, yeah. So we have the jobs. Start. Unattended, but notice this time we're going to write, we are going to have only one job, right? Like I've said. just one job on this machine, and let's do that. Okay, good to go. So hopefully we don't get any errors. Let's notice the time now. It's 3:28. Okay, so it's the same process, and you're going to have still again you're going to have 1,000 records, but it's just one job, so one bot. Right, and this is the UiPath assistant, and you can see what are the previous, what are the automations that currently running, right? Okay, so let's go and check whether any transactions are added. Yes, they are getting added one by one. Right. So looks like our job has ended, and now let's go and check how much time it has taken. So it's the third one, and it just now completed 4 minutes back. And let's go and check how much time it took. So it starts 3:28, 4:28. So if you can see, that is just close to an hour, uh, like 53 minutes something. So this is when we run just one job, but when we ran like two jobs combinedly, all the 1,000 transactions were processed within just 34 minutes. So we are able to see the difference, right? In case of multi-bot, how more efficient this is. So yeah, so this is what I wanted to share with you guys. So do let me know whether you like the video, and please provide your comments, and subscribe as well, so that uh, I can upload more videos in future, and you can be able to easily get access. Right then, thank you very much.